and welcome back. Today I have with me Matilde from Malmö here again just to tell us all about her second birth that she had just a couple of months ago. And yeah, Matilde, I don't know if you want to just introduce yourself again and a little bit about your first birth and what you were hoping for your second birth, and then we can get right into it.
Yeah, sure. So I'm 31 years old. I'm a nurse that works at the labor and delivery ward here in Malmö. And I have a daughter that is going to turn 3 on Christmas Day. And yeah.
Oh.
And I just gave birth to my son on October 5th.
Wow. Oh my gosh. So many things happening for you in the fall and winter.
Yes. And I don't know why, because my entire family have like birthdays in December. So it's a very expensive month.
Oh, I bet. Oh, well, thank you so much just for joining me again and just to tell me all about your second birth, because I know that you had hopes of it being completely different this time around compared to your first birth. And so I've heard a little bit about it when we met up in Malmö, but I'd love to just get into all the details of how it all was with your son.
Yeah, it was. I had a first birth that was a hospital birth, and I wrote down all my wishes and hopes, but also my fears in a birth letter. And I also took a hypnobirthing class the first time with Nandi that you also interviewed. But even though I had all that preparation and a very supportive partner and my mother with me, it didn't go as planned, mostly because I didn't felt listened to. So that's why I decided to have a home birth this time with people I could choose.
And it's just one of the perks of being able to just pick and choose when we work in this field. Like, it is such a privilege, but it is also such an important topic of even hospital staff. It's not always that we choose hospitals because that's where we feel the safest, because sometimes it really is just the connection and the people around you and the knowledge that you have going into this. So what kind of made you think about having a home birth this time around? Because home birth just is not a thing here in Sweden, and there's a lot of stigma around it. So just how did you go on with processing that or feeling comfortable with that choice?
Yeah, no, it's definitely not a thing. I spoke to one of my midwives, and she said that I think there are about 120 to 150 home births in the entire country. And to compare, like in 1 week, there are maybe around 90 babies born in just Malmö. So yeah, that's a very small number if you see it as a whole. But I think I had the thought already before I gave birth to my first daughter. And like I have always been very interested in science and what the evidence says and so on. Mostly because that's something I got in my education as a nurse. And well, the evidence said that giving birth at home is as safe as giving birth at a hospital if you are healthy and are having a healthy baby. And I decided to wait the first time since the recommendations for a home birth is to give birth to your second child. Like, that's the evidence where they say that it's like as safe as giving birth at a hospital. And I think I listened a lot to that. And that was like the recommendations written on the web pages of like the home birth teams. So I went with a hospital birth because of that. But this time I was like, yeah, my mind was very fixed on having a home birth, and I think it is because of the possibility to be at home, not having to think about when it is time to go to the hospital. And because I was so interested in everything that is said about the oxytocin and how important it is to have high levels of oxytocin, and obviously that feeling wasn't there when I came to the hospital my first time, and I was very certain that it would be much better here at home. And also something that I discussed a lot with my partner was that he felt that he didn't have such a big part as he wanted to when he was at the hospital, that he also often felt like set aside by the midwives and the assistant nurses, and he was quite unsure about how he could support me at the hospital. But instead here it's also he was more in charge and could I think he felt that he could decide and help a little bit better at home. But sometimes he has started to have fits where he wants to breastfeed, but it's like he's too overstimulated or too tired to concentrate. So he just screams at the breast, and the only thing that works is me bouncing while trying to breastfeed. And then he's like, yeah, now it works. And I hate it. I hate it, but it's the only thing that worked for him.
Oh my gosh. You see, you find it too. You find the thing that works for him. I mean,
Yeah.
he was going through something too, where he was again, not wanting to take the breast. He was screaming at it, and I'm like, I know you're hungry. Why are you not taking the breast? And so I put the pacifier in his mouth, let him suck on that for a few seconds, and then I removed it and then put my boob in his mouth, and then it worked.
Yeah,
and
and that has been that's so weird, but that has been working for me as well. And I think it worked for maybe 3 nights, and then it stopped working.
Oh my gosh, no. Oh my gosh. He hasn't needed it in a while, so hopefully he'll just grow out of it soon, and it's just a temporary one of those things. Okay, so I didn't know that you actually had already planned that kind of with your first, that you were already so interested in home birth. So that's really exciting that you were brave enough to just kind of get out there and just this is what I'm doing. You already had your mind set. There was nobody that could tell you anything. This was your mind made up. So that's incredible. So how did you go about finding your team for home birth? What was going through your mind in terms of just feeling comfortable and who you wanted to be there with you?
Well, it was quite easy to know that I wanted Nandi there, and I think me and David, we just knew that from the moment we met her at the hypnobirthing class. When I was expecting Ilse, we were just we started asking Nandi back then, where do you work? Are you working around Christmas? And back then she was working as a midwife at Ystad, and I was quite interested. I wanted to give birth in Ystad, but it's 45-minute drive from Malmö, comparing to Lund or Malmö, where it's 20 minutes versus 7 minutes. So it's quite a big difference. But yeah, we were considering going to Ystad just so we could have Nandi, and and after giving birth to Ilse, we were both okay, next time we are going to have Nandi, whatever it takes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I just told Nandi instantly, you're going to be on my next birth.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, she has that impression, you just kind of know as soon as you meet her, you're like, yes, our energies click. And
Yes.
you're my person. Yeah.
Yeah, and I trust whatever you say, and I feel so like seen and listened to, and
Mm.
she has this very calm energy around her, but at the same time she's like really humoristic, and yeah, I like that about her. And
Yes.
then I found Jasmine, and yeah, it was also something like I met her at work at the labor and delivery ward, and the funny thing is that like I didn't. She's working like a little bit more with the administration side, and like not as much at like the ward as I am, and I also work night shifts, so I don't like see her that much. But like even though I didn't meet her that much, she just gave a really good impression, and I just yeah, I don't know, it was also something she was like very confident and very warm. And then I started talking to Jade, that is one of my colleagues that I did the doula training with with you. And I remember that like very early when I started working there, Jade told me like, when I'm having a baby, Jasmine is going to deliver it. And and she told me about this, and how she trusted Jasmine, and how she liked her energy, and like, yeah, so that made me think. And then Nandi told me like, oh, you know that Jasmine, she has started doing home births now. So that was also like a really good timing. And then I was like, yes, I want her.
Mm.
And yeah, and then I asked Jasmine, and she was happy to attend. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you really truly had a dream team. And so anyone who is listening in Malmö, you know, these are the people that you need to have on your team.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
will put all of their links and information below in the notes so that you all can find them, because they're worth interviewing. I always tell people interview a lot of people, but
Mm.
there's not a lot of people to interview when you want to do a home birth. But these are the
No,
ones that are the best from
yeah.
us working in healthcare. So, okay, so everyone said yes. So, how was your pregnancy with your little boy? And yeah, just anything different compared to your first?
It was quite similar actually. Like I had like this huge bouts of nausea the first trimester that was horrible. Yeah, the fun thing was that I like started to being nauseous like before I tested positive. And I thought like I'm just like making this up in my head, and like it's just psychological. But it was like really a lot of nausea. Like I could sit at the table and we were having soup. You know, it's not something that is very difficult to eat. And I was just like, I can't eat. And I was just laughing. And David was like, no, it's not possible. And then I took a pregnancy test, and I took it like, I think 3 days before I was supposed to have my period, and it was positive.
Oh my gosh. Was that the same test that you came to work with and you like showed me a couple weeks after I had showed you mine?
Yeah. And it was so silly, but it was like, yeah, how can I be a prig? But yeah, that was so strange because I had like really early pregnancy symptoms, and I also even had like heartburn, and like started to have this crazy pregnancy dreams that are like very vivid. And I was like, no, I'm just like imagining this. Maybe it is because I'm spending so much time with Alison. I don't know. And then it was like positive.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that was the best. That was such a surprise when you came to work that day and you like were just like, so look. I'm like freaked out. It was so
Yeah.
amazing. It was so awesome to go through pregnancy with you and just to have somebody to lean on, even though it was your
Yeah.
second, it was my first. I had you, I could ask things. It was really, really
Yeah. And it
special.
just like is something special to just being able to share all those small things that nobody else cares about. or just like, complain about having nausea or complain about having to run to the toilet every 3 minutes. So it's so nice to just have someone to write and talk about it.
Yeah, it was really amazing. So how your pregnancy is pretty similar, the nausea goes away, you're feeling better. How are you starting to kind of prepare for birth? You have your team set. What are some other things that you're doing to prepare for this home birth?
Well, I read a lot. Like Anna.mihaa was an enormous inspiration for me. And listening to podcasts about, especially I was of course focusing on the home birth stories. And I knew I wanted to give birth in a pool. I wanted to have a water birth. So I was trying to listen to birth stories about that. And but I think most importantly was that since there are quite strict rules or requirements for being able to have a home birth, like you have to be completely healthy, you can't have any complications during pregnancy, and there can't be any risks with the baby. I wanted to keep my body as healthy as possible and to optimize that. So I was very focused on my exercise, on working out properly, and sleeping, eating, taking care of myself. And then there was the mental part. I think I saw it a little bit as I'm preparing for a marathon. I just can't show up to the marathon and be like, I think this is gonna work out. You have to prepare and make a plan. So I just took it really seriously. I did my hypnobirthing training. I did my meditations every day, even though I have a daughter that is crazy. And I was working night shifts and so on. I just decided on from week 20, I'm going to do this. And this is a regimen because I'm not going to risk it. So yeah, I did my hypnobirthing very rigid, I listened to affirmations and relaxations. So I did the mental training part from quite early and every day, and together with exercise focused on the pelvis and movement. So yeah, I think I took it more seriously than I did before and the first time. And I think I did that because I knew how important it was. And I wanted to have all the tools with me when I was giving birth, because what I found the first time was I did the relaxation part, and I did work out a little bit, but not as much, not every day. And so when it was time to give birth, I just forgot everything. And all the tools were gone. And I think the tools were also gone for David. Of course, we did some things. We used Rebozo and so on. But I just I forgot. I didn't know when to put on my relaxation tracks. And I forgot to use my affirmations. And I think that I had the tools, but I wasn't prepared to use them when it was really necessary. And I think they could have had helped me a lot. So yeah, this time I was I am going to practice them so much so that they are going to be in my head when I need them. And they are going to be David's head also.
Oh, it's so important. What just you talking about all this, it makes me just think about how unserious I was about all of the mental stuff. I was oh, I'm just gonna, I have it, but I didn't work at it daily, you know, and it just goes back to how freaking important it is to have that mental training because yeah, I had supported lots of births where nobody did the mental training before and they did it anyway. So I was a part of me was like, I can do it anyway. Like I'll be
Mhm.
able to tap into that part of me. Like there's got to be, I have to be able to. And it's just like, no, that's just, it wasn't realistic and it was so hard and I didn't have a dream team and my husband was I mean, but I didn't have birth workers. And I think
No,
that makes or breaks an experience too of like if you don't have your tools ready and you don't have that those amazing professionals in the room for you cheering you on and really believing in you, it makes all the difference. So I'm so glad you took it so seriously and you know you prepared yourself with all the things that you possibly could. Oh, well, okay. So how did it all start for you? Let's get into your birth story. How did birth start this time around?
well, the last trimester or the last couple of weeks were quite similar to when I was expecting Ilse, which I'm happy because I had a lot of prodromal labor. So, uh, and I had that with Ilse as well. So now I was like prepared for it that, okay, I'm going to start having a few contractions, but it's not going to be the real deal.
Mhm.
So it was good because I had more patience this time. Like with Ilse, I had a few contractions, and David was like, "I'm going to pack the bag," and then they stopped after 2 hours, and we were like, "What was that?" So this time we were more prepared. So I was just like, "Yeah, I have a few contractions," and David was like, "Okay, yeah, let me know if they like speed up or something, or do you want to just breathe through them?" And yeah,
Mm. Mm.
so I just I think I saw them as practice. I was just like because I with every Braxton Hicks that I had, I stopped and did some breathing exercises according to like the hypnobirthing training, just to like condition my brain to access that breathing when it was time to give birth. So when I started having like the prodromal labor, the false labor, or whatever you want to call it, I did the same. I was like, okay, this is practice. So I'm practicing giving birth right now. I'm practicing on having my contractions. Yeah, I practiced breathing. I just, like tried on different relaxation tracks to see what I liked, what could work for me. Um, and then I kind of started to like them because I was like, wow, thanks to this contractions, I am like just exercising and my brain. I'm trying to find what is the best tools for me.
Mm.
And then when it started, it's funny because we were talking with my team and they were like, Nandi was saying, I have to go to a doula training on October 4th to Stockholm. And because she was going to give a lecture there, and she asked me like, "Are you going to give birth on October 4th?" And my due date was October 3rd, and
Oh my God.
and she was like, "You're not, right? So I can go to Stockholm." And I was like, "For how long are you going to be in Stockholm?" And it was like a doula training that she really wanted to attend, and she
Mm.
was like, 24 hours tops. I am like going on the morning train and I'm going back home with the evening train. And it's like, what is it, 4.5 hours with like the fastest train to Stockholm. And I,
Only? It's only 4.5 hours? I thought it was more. Wow.
yeah, it's often more because we always have like problem with the trains here.
True.
But yeah, it's 4.5 if you're lucky.
Mm.
And so she was like, I'm going to be away for 24 hours. Try to not give birth then. And I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna tell my baby to not give birth then.
Mhm.
And David was like, that's so stupid. Why is she going that then? And he was like really nervous and stressed about it. And I was just
Yeah.
like, no, but she's going to be there at my birth. So no problem. I'm not giving birth on October 4th. So I was like really calm that weekend. I was just like, it's not gonna happen. So of course it happened. But also it was funny because I was having all these false contractions on and off, and then like 3 days around my due date, they completely stopped. I had like no feeling whatsoever of like labor starting. I was just like feeling really pregnant, but nothing else. And so yeah, it was just like, no, it's not gonna happen now. And I woke up at, I think I started to have a few contractions during the night, and then I woke up at 4 a.m. On October 4th. And it was I just had firstly a feeling, and it was quite funny because when I gave birth to Ilse, my labor also started at 4 o'clock in the morning.
What?
Yeah, so I was just like, this is funny, because I had like a few contractions, and then I had like to run to the toilet, and I had like the classical bowel movements, and then I was like, it was exactly the same with Ilse. The only difference was with Ilse, my water broke quite Hollywood-esque after going to the toilet. And this time it didn't. But the contractions like just started coming. They were quite short, around 30 seconds, but they were coming like every 5 minutes. And then they started to accelerate and coming every 3 minutes. And I was like, is this going to go fast? But then I was quite confused because they were so short. So at around 5, David woke up and he was like, it's happening. And he was like, let's call Jasmine right now. And I was like, really? Let's wait a little. But I don't know, it was like I love that feeling. Like the contractions were like really, really manageable because they were so short. And it was like kind of Christmas morning, waking up and you have this really special feeling that something is going to happen. And like we woke up before Ilse, and I just wanted to have some tea. I was feeling quite nauseous, so I just wanted some tea, and I was just like sitting on my Pilates ball drinking tea, and then Ilse wakes up and she's like happy, and we're just cuddling. And yeah, so we called Jasmine, and she was like, okay, let me know what happens next, we'll see. Because they were still so short, and I was so excited. And then just like from I think around 9, I called my mom just to tell her that it had started, and she was supposed to take care of Ilse if it began like during the day. Also because Ilse, she like after a while she started to like climb on the walls because she was so bored. Like I mean, and David, he was very split between me and Ilse. And it was kind of and then I think after a while my brain started to get a little bit torn between like having contractions and being focused on that and taking care of Ilse, because like I could be having a contraction and she was like, you need to help me tie my shoes. And I was like, yeah, sure. And then I had like her feet here, like, okay, I'm doing it. I was like trying to stretch with the Pilates ball, and she like just came running. I was like, I want to hug the ball too. And I was like trying to balance us. So my contractions, they just like stopped. And it was like my body was like, I think you need to take care of that kid first.
And the mom brain.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that was like because that's something that I had been thinking a lot about, like what am I going to do with Ilse? And I was quite open to have her at my birth, and I was very confident that she would handle it well. We looked at a birth video with her where there were in that video there are 2 kids present. And Ilse was very calm and relaxed about it. And she was like, yeah, seems natural to me. So I was like, yeah, she can handle it. But then like when I saw her just being plain bored, I was like,
Yeah.
no, you need to go. And David was like, I can't be like running between you when I want to be with you when you're giving birth, but I need to take care of her. So we called my mom and she came and picked her up at around 11. But then I felt like I was just like making things up because I was having like 0 contractions. I was like, hi, I'm fine. There's nothing going on here. And my mom was like, okay, we'll see. Maybe it just like is a false start, but I can take her for a couple of hours and you can see. And then my mom took her and I was like, okay, me and David, we just decided to like go to bed and try to sleep in case it started. Because I think that was something that we didn't do last time. Just like try to get some rest for when the labor really starts. So we went to bed and I was listening to some relaxation and the contraction started again. So that was also quite interesting. Like as soon as I said goodbye to Ilse and I went to bed and I just like had time to focus again, and the labor just like started. But yeah, and then after a while it just disappeared. So it was like on and off all day. The fun thing was that it also was a storm here. So the weather was like awful. But even so, I was like, we need to go out and like try to take a walk and maybe I can like get the labor started again. And I was of course texting my team, and Nandi was like, maybe he's like a little bit too high up and he needs to like come down a little bit more. Just like maybe his head is like blobbing up and down. So maybe he needs to press more on your cervix to make the contractions be more regular. So we went for a wonderful walk like in the storm.
Yeah.
Like in the rain, and I was just like, yeah, this is nice. And but the contractions started again, so it was worth it. I was like, okay, great. We came back. They stopped. David was like, I'm going to, and I was like, what are we going to do? And I was just like, try to sleep and I will try to make them come back. And I was just like, okay, I have tried to like get some rest, to go for a walk. I also tried to take a shower. And I was like, what can I do? And I was like, okay, endorphins, maybe it can help to laugh. So I just like started to watching like stand-ups on Netflix and just like, please. But yeah, and they were just like very short, very regular. So I went to bed again. I was just like, okay, let's just give up. I give up. I'm going to bed. I'm going to sleep. So I gave up. The contractions came back.
Of course. What time was it at that point?
It was around 6 o'clock in the evening. So I had been like up trying to make them come back from 4 o'clock in the morning. But yeah, around 6 o'clock, I just, when I gave up, they started to come back and they started to get more like longer and more regular. And around 7, David was like, I think we can call them now. And I was like, no, they are going to stop anytime. I don't trust them. But he wrote to them and I was just like joking around because I just like didn't take them seriously. So I was like, yeah, they are like 1 minute long, but sometimes it's like 10 minutes between. Sometimes it's like 3. So, and then Nandi was like, you need to like get off your phone and focus because I think they are here now to stay. And it was just like they had to compromise with me, I think. So they were like, but maybe Jade can come, like the doula. Maybe she just can come and hang around. Can you accept that? And I think that David was also trying to make me accept it. And he was like, maybe she can just make some ice pads in the kitchen. And I was like, yeah, she can do that. So Jade came and I was like, I'm fine. You can go make some ice pads. And she was like, are you really focusing on your ice pads right now? And I was like, yeah. they are going to be really important when it's like time. So she was like, okay, I'm going to be making ice pads in the kitchen. Just tell me if you need anything. And then I think, Jasmine, she had like been kind of waiting all day. And I don't know if she was getting kind of bored. And she was like, I'm coming in. And I was like, but yeah, I kind of can handle them right now. So it felt so strange. And she came, and I kind of don't remember this, but David told me that I whispered to him, like, do you think they will be bored? And he was like, what do you mean? I was like, yeah, but I mean, like, will they be bored just waiting? Do we have like some card games or anything? And he was like, what are you thinking about? Just like forget about like taking social responsibility right now. They will be fine. I can tell them to make some tea in the kitchen.
That kind of is a good thing to have a midwife at home that's just sitting there bored. That's like the best kind of thing for them to do. There's nothing urgent, and there's just presence. The presence of them is literally all that you need.
Yeah, I don't know why I was so concerned with them getting bored.
That's so funny.
Like, are they going to leave me?
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna tap out. This one wasn't worth it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, no, I don't want to be here.
Oh. Yeah, no, that's hilarious. I'm sure they've been to long 24-hour bursts of doing nothing. So
yeah. No, but and then I think I just loved having their voices like chatting in the kitchen. It was like such a comfy thing to have in the background, that just you could hear they making tea, and like the clicking of the teacups, and they were talking and they were laughing a little bit, and I just loved that sound. It made me feel so safe, I think. Like they are, once I accepted that they could be bored, and I think I relaxed, and the labor really started. I think, yeah, at 8 o'clock, I was just having regular contractions. They were like 1 minute each, so, or one and a half, and Jasmine was like listening to the baby with the Doppler, and I started to enter active labor, which was great, and I was very happy about it.
Were you needing any type of support, or were you still just in your own body coping?
I was listening to relaxation tracks, and at first I started with just like a heat pack on my back. That was really nice. And then Jasmine suggested that I take a walk, because I had been like trying to switch from just resting on my side in bed, and sitting or stretching against a Pilates ball. And then she was like, maybe you should try to take a walk around the apartment. And then I felt that I needed my TENS. So that was like really helpful, I think, mostly because I felt I could control it. So I started using my TENS. We had a photographer. She arrived. And yeah, she was just like hanging out in the background, taking pictures. I was mostly relying on David, and like if he needed to, he started to fill up the pool. So when he needed to like walk away, Jade was there supporting me. But yeah, it was just mainly, I was just very much in my head, I think, and just like breathing my way through the contractions. And it was nice to just take this walk around my apartment, and I could just like rest against my couch. It was all my things, and I was wearing my own clothes, and that was also like I really enjoyed that, like my own pajama. and my favorite socks that were like really soft. I don't know why, but that like mattered so much to me.
Yes.
Yeah, and of course, running back and forth to the bathroom because that still continued the entire time.
So good.
Yeah. And I was feeling a little bit nauseous, but I was just like drinking a lot. Yeah, and like the only thing Jasmine did, I think, was to just come and listen to the baby once in a while. And it was such a difference using the Doppler instead of the CTG. Like with Ilse, they came and they were like, you have to lay on your back and we have to listen while you're laying on your back. And I hated that. But now I could just like be in any position I wanted and she could hear anyhow. And the baby was doing fine all the time. And yeah, it started to escalate. So they suggested that I got into the pool. There was like a really a moment of where I almost got a little bit frightened because they were taking off the tents and it was before me going into the pool. So I just felt a little bit unsafe that I wasn't having like something that was a pain relief for me. But I worked through that contraction, got into the pool. It was wonderful. Just feeling weightless and being able to move around. And I think like the water just enabled me to move quite instinctively, like to alter my positions. And I focused a lot on like, and I think my body just wanted to do like lunges in the pool. So I was squatting a lot, doing lunges during contractions. And then between contractions, I just like lay down on my, I just sat down and just relaxed. And I even like got some sleep in between contractions. So that was really nice. But I was sweating a lot and they didn't want to open the windows because of the baby when he was born. So what helped a lot was some ice cold towels. And I was using a little bit of lavender on the towels to help relax, and some sage as essential oils. And Jasmine she made like some, I don't know what they're called, but acupuncture balls, I think.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's like a comb, but it's round, so it presses against your entire palm.
Nice.
And those were like, I just hold on to them. I just like for the entire birth, I clung to them. So those were amazing, actually.
Wow.
So I had one in each hand, and the interesting was that I could just feel like him moving down. I was so aware of all the movements of what was happening, comparing to my first time when I think I was mostly scared and didn't know what was going on. So that was really nice. And then I like started to hear them like talking and texting and being like, I think she will make it. And they were talking about Nandi, and she was on the train and she was arriving. And then I heard them like, she's on the taxi. So she took a taxi from the train station. She arrived here. And when she came, I just really remember just her like entering and putting a hand on my shoulder and being like, I'm here now. And that was amazing. And I don't know if I like noticed it myself, but I've been told later by Jasmine that like it was like your labor really took off when Nandi came. It was like your body was waiting for her, and once she was there, like I really started to be inactive, like to really give birth. And so yeah, I entered at a whole different level. So yeah, that was really it was really intense, but I was really grateful, of course.
So powerful. The body is just so wise, you know. You just get a completely new understanding of everything when it's like you feel that level of safety.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. And it's so interesting because Nandi, she had been telling her midwife colleague in Stockholm, Asabea, that she really wanted to be at my birth and she was worried she would miss it. And Asabea told her, like, if you're meant to be at her birth, you're going to be there. Just trust that. And I love that
So
because
perfect.
she made it to my birth, and it was like I was waiting for her, so my birth didn't want to start really until she was there. Yeah, so that was so incredible. And I had made a playlist, so I was like, put on the playlist. Let's do this. And yeah, it's amazing how much music can help. I had picked out like quite calm music, but like powerful. And also I mixed it with affirmations from Mary Mongan. When I really, really needed, I used the affirmation. And then I entered transition, and it was like a very obvious transition. It was like I could remember, like when I was going through transition, I could remember you telling us at the doula training about like the adrenaline rush, about the woman like looking up, finally like noticing the room instead of being like in their own bubble. And it was so strange because I was just like really looking down, and then suddenly I looked up and I looked at all the people in the room, and I was really aware of who were there and like what the feeling was. And then I got scared and I was like, can they just go home so I don't have to give birth?
I don't want to do this.
I don't want to do this. Can we just cancel this? Can they come back another day and then I can give birth? Like, I'm not ready. But I think that was the first time I looked at Nandi and Jasmine, and I was like, I need help. And then Nandi came over. She took these acupuncture balls and she pressed them against my back instead. And I got a comb in my hand. David was there, of course, all the time. Jasmine started talking and just like telling me positive things. And Jade, she was running back and forth with the cold towels. And yeah, and I think that was, of course, the most intensive part, like feeling and just the time right before pushing.
Wow. Okay. So now, oh my gosh, that's just so incredible. I love that Jade like has really gone into this like doula role so quickly, you know, just like so many. That's amazing that she was, you know, able to support you in that way. I mean, being a nurse and, you know, studying to be a midwife, it's got to be like so different to have like a non-medical role. So it's just fun to hear just like how everyone just really showed up for you.
Yeah. No, it was amazing to see that, and that they all had like their own role. And they were like fanning with books because I was like sweating and I'm just like, I'm so warm. And then like it was, and Jasmine, she was listening with the Doppler still like every 20 minutes, but they did no other examinations. And then suddenly she just said like, I think you can like reach in and touch and see where he is. And I was like, really, already? And I suddenly got like this really strange fear, like, what if I'm like entirely closed? What if I'm just imagining this and like labor hasn't started yet? But yeah, I did my own vaginal exam, and of course he was there. I could feel my water hadn't broke, so I could just feel like the bag bulging, and it was a really cool feeling, and to be like, he's really there. And she suggested that I tried to push a little bit. And it was interesting that she said that. And then like I was like, but I'm not having any pushing sensations. And then like maybe 5 seconds later, I started to have like the pushing sensation. So it was like she saw it just right before it happened. And yeah, it was amazing to be able to have that control, to like have my hand against his head almost, and just follow him. So I could follow him along. I knew how much to push. I didn't force it. I just tried to breathe with it. But at the same time, I had really strong pushing sensation. So I just had to go along with it. And then, of course, I had this time a very, very clear, like ring of fire sensation. So that was like I had to just breathe through it, because that was like, I didn't feel that with Ilse, but this was like really tough. And it's, I just, it's so interesting, the feeling like when he went up and down. I was like, this is going to take forever. And then suddenly he just like popped out with a head, water broke. And I was just like, I'm touching his nose right now.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and that's such a strange feeling, to be like touching your baby's face, but he's not out there yet. So you just have to wait for another contraction. And I think that was like the longest wait ever, because I'm like, he's here and I want to hold him, but he's still stuck inside me.
Wow.
So that was like the longest wait until my next contraction. And then things I was very like, that I worried about was not being able to catch him in the water. I was just like, what if I slip? What if I don't, like, what if he just floats away? But that was like that was very instinctive. Like I just caught him and I brought him to my chest, and it was such an amazing feeling of being able to do that again, because I caught Ilse too. And I was so happy that I was able to do that again. And then he had his umbilical cord wrapped around his neck once. So Jasmine and Nandi started to tell me, like, can you lower him? Because they were trying to get rid of the cord. But I think like I wasn't coping so well with the instructions. I was just like very much in primal mode. So to me, it was like, let go of him, and they were like, lower him, and I was just like, but I'm gonna drown him if I lower him. So I started to like press him more and more up against myself, and they were like, but the problem is that when I was doing that, like the cord was wrapping harder and harder, because I was like pulling up. So Jasmine, she looked at me and she was like, give him to me. And I don't know, but I could understand, and I could like accept. I was like, and Jade was like, you were so clear when you just said, I'm giving him to you. And I was just like, yeah, but I was using closed loops, because we are trained to do that as nurses. We're using closed loops. Like if I say, I need you to put on an IV, you need to say the IV is in. Like you need to confirm what you have done.
Yeah.
So she said, give the baby to me. And I was like, I am giving the baby to you. So I'm just using closed loops. So, but then like the cord, they unwrapped it really quickly. It was no problem. And I got him back. He was screaming and just, yeah, pink and happy. And then, but I started bleeding, so it was quite red in the pool. I just glanced at the photographer. It was her first home birth. She got a little bit dizzy, I think. And he was like, I'm sorry. But yeah, and so Nandi started to like really ask me to try to push out my placenta, to be a little bit more active on getting it out. But it was quite stuck, unfortunately. So I got out of the pool like with the placenta still inside, and I went to lay down on my bed. Best feeling ever, to be able to just like lay down in my own bed after birth. And then Nandi helped me deliver the placenta more actively. And since I was still bleeding, it wasn't like I was bleeding a lot. I think in total I bled 650 milliliters, but I think it was coming out a lot there. So I got an injection and some, what's it called? Fundus massage?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Fundal massage.
yeah, fundal massage, and it stopped quite quickly.
Wow. I mean, it is, when you're in that, and you're seeing so much blood for the first time. I mean, I can imagine that was a lot for her.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then having just the pro midwives just being like, just knowing what to do in those
Yeah, they were
situations.
so
Like they're so
calm.
professional. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
So, and they were so calm and they were so professional. So I like never felt worried about anything that was going on.
yeah. Oh,
Of course, I felt that it was a little bit annoying that I couldn't, because with Ilse, I just delivered the placenta very naturally. Like I had a contraction and the placenta was out. But here I had to like work a little bit for it. And I think that was a different experience.
wow. Oh, Matilda, such an incredible story. Just that like it's just, to me, it's like a dream just to hear, like you feel him moving down, you get to reach in and feel his head, and the water breaks and you feel his nose, like just all of those things. It's so primal, but also just, so beautiful, so powerful, and just, I'm just so incredibly proud of you. Like you did that. You did that. Like out of all the statistics and all the things you hear, it's just like, it's such an amazing feeling. You got to lay down in your bed.
Yeah.
Like all these things, these small things. I mean, and also, I'm redoing my certification to be a childbirth educator. So I'm listening to all these webinars. And so one was all about how to optimize the baby's gut microbiome. And it's for the most optimal, if you're looking at the microbiome standpoint, the most optimal place to give birth is at home. Like that
Of
is,
course, yeah.
for so many reasons. And it's just, again, like, and in the pool, how you're still getting the baby just exposed to all the things that they need to be. It's just, you got all the things, like you got all of them.
Yeah. No, and I was so happy because I had also been listening to and reading about the microbiome, and I remember I was a little bit worried, like, is it going to be washed out because I'm in the pool?
Yeah. Nope. It's in there. It's floating in there.
Yeah.
Another interesting point too, there was a small study, actually, because I had an emergency C-section. At least I had expressed colostrum. That's one of the first things you can do with a cesarean birth, because really what it should be is the baby's first getting the vaginal flora, the feces from the perineum, from the mom, and then the air, and then the skin. But with a C-section, you're getting air, and then you're getting the surgeon's hands, and then you're getting the skin, and then the air, and then the skin. But it really is like, in this small study, what they did for those that had C-sections was actually mix a little bit of colostrum with the mom's feces.
Oh yeah,
and
I
then
read
give
about
it directly into the baby, and that will give the baby the same flora as if it was birthed vaginally. I was mind blown.
Milkshake.
Yeah, seriously. I was like, what? Like mind blown, because I was like, oh my gosh, that's the one thing I didn't get to do because I just learned about it. But I was just like, you have to breastfeed for 1 full year for the microbiome to be similar to a baby born vaginally. Like otherwise, wants to get partially, but otherwise, like just knowing that you've set him up for like the most success, like it's got to just feel so rewarding and just so. Yeah, I know it's not everyone's story, but when you can make it as optimal as possible, and you did that, that's just so incredible.
Yeah, no, and I was so happy to be able to achieve that. And so it was really amazing, and like to have all the people that I really love there for me, and to see David being like really present and calm instead of like this how scared he was the first time.
Mhm.
And yeah, he like made me some salmon bagels, which are my favorite, instead of getting the hospital breakfast. And he like had bought a really small push present that I loved because it was so meaningful. It was like this
Aw.
Moomin cup of a mom.
Oh, no.
And yeah, and Jade, she had also brought a present with her, and it was a gift that she had made together with with a midwife and a nurse assistant from my labor and delivery ward. So they had crochet this beautiful blanket for the baby.
Oh,
So it was like really like a little small birthday, and I was just like laying in bed, eating my salmon bagel and unwrapping my gifts, and
oh,
like having my baby on me, and yeah, and everybody was just like in such a good mood. Um, yeah, and just like trying to make him feed. Um, yeah, and I think that was a little bit different from my first time, because when Ilse was born, she just like attached to the breast, like she latched on immediately, and she just like sucked for an hour. But he was a little bit more like didn't find it, was struggling a little bit. So that was new to me. But yeah, so I like I'm happy that I had midwives and doula help me with
yeah.
that, because even though I'm trained, like I have done my like training thing, it's a whole different thing to do to experience it on yourself than to help another one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then they stitched me up
Yeah. In your bed.
in my bed. Yes, holding the yeah the light with the iPhone camera.
It's the way it's been done so many years before hospitals, you know? It's like you got to experience that too, but just with an iPhone. Yeah,
Yes,
that's awesome.
exactly. So I had one that was like the iPhone holder, the other one was stitching, they were discussing, and then I was quite kind of nervous because they only I just like had a first degree tear, but it was just like close to my urine tract, so they had to stitch up, and I was quite nervous about it, and they only had like the spray. So David was
Oh.
like laying on my side, like he was distracting me, and I was just like, distract me with something. So he was like, here's some pictures. I was just like showing me pictures on his phone.
Oh, good, David. That's amazing.
Yeah. And then I had like the midwives between my legs, like laughing because they were discussing and talking, and we were joking with each other. And it was such a funny thing
Oh my gosh.
to do. Yeah, so I'm happy, because I think I would have been more scared in another setting to just do it kind of without any like anesthesia or anything, but it went well because I was just like happy.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That's so amazing, Matilda. Oh, no, I'm so happy for you that you got that experience. I know how much you wanted just like a redemptive birth experience after your first, and just feeling empowered, you know, no
Yes.
matter where he would have been birthed, like just to feel empowered and not traumatized or
Mm.
fearful. I mean, it makes all the difference. And now you got like all of your boxes just crossed. I know, I don't know if you want to go into it a little quickly, but your postpartum experience was a bit different from your first. Do you want to go into that at all?
Yeah, sure. I think, yeah, I had like this time such a strong feeling of feeling empowered, and having like such a big trust in myself. Um, and yeah, I felt strong and capable, and I was so happy as well. And I think that was such a different feeling from my first time, where I felt kind of small and disappointed, and kind of fooled into what the experience would have been. So I think I brought that feeling, of course, with me to my postpartum time. And so my first time with Ilse was very emotional. I was having quite a hard time. And since I did a breast reduction in 2020, I was having difficulty with my breastfeeding. And of course, since I wasn't feeling empowered either the first time, it was such a big thing to go through, to have complications breastfeeding, and to not being because I wasn't able to fully feed her on breast milk because I wasn't producing enough, and I had to start giving I lost the word. Formula. Yeah. Just because he's waking up. And I think that was like difficult for me to handle because I had a difficult birth or a difficult feeling after my birth. So it was like too much. So yeah, I actually went to a therapist that time to process the feelings. But this time I felt really capable. I had hand-expressed milk. I had hand-expressed colostrum during pregnancy this time. So that helped a lot, even though I was aware that I was going to probably have breastfeeding complications this time as well. But I think I was more prepared for it and more like emotionally stable to process that and to handle the problems that I was going to meet. And I think that I have been much more present and more thankful for the baby time, and like appreciating in a whole different level all little things that happen when they are this small.
Yeah. No, I think that your birth, it matters a lot how you're entering postpartum and how you're going to deal with anything that comes up. And even working in the field, it's prepared you on a different level, but it's still emotionally going to be a lot different depending on the experience that you have.
It can be a good thing to talk about. Like, I feel like it's good to be honest about that. Not everything was like perfect, and or I mean, like things there can still be complications, even though you have been preparing your best. And
you, super mom.
Yeah, we just mastered this today.
Oh wow, goals.
Yeah.
Okay, so besides the birth and the redemptive experience that it was, now it's been a few hours at home with your baby boy, and what's that all like, and what's going on?
Well, he was born at around 2:00 in the night a.m. on October 5th. And I think everyone left at around 4:30. So then after that, we were quite tired. So we fell asleep, and he was also sleeping. And then I think I knew that I actually had to go pee, because you have to go and pee, in order to empty the bladder and to know that there won't be any complications with that. But I just fell asleep. And then Jasmine called me at 6:00 in the morning, and she was like, "We forgot. You need to go to the toilet now." So yeah, I was just like, "Okay, let's go up." And I gave. We had like this bedside. This Nayel. It's like, how would you describe it? A cot, like
Oh, it's like a little, it's a cot. It's a little
cot. Yeah, that you can have in bed, but you can carry it. So I just laid him down there. Went to the bathroom. When I came back, he was sleeping there, so I just let him sleep there. And that's something that I have been thinking a lot about, like, because I was having him skin to skin until that time. I put him down in order to go to the bathroom, came back, and just like, he's sleeping, so let's just leave him there. And I have been thinking a lot, like, what would have happened if I just have kept having him skin to skin. Because when we woke up at around 9, he was still very sleepy. And I was just like thinking, like, he hasn't been able to properly feed, but it's also like his first day. And at the labor and delivery ward, we always say, like, the first 24 hours, they don't need to feed like regularly. And I don't know why I got stuck on that. And so I was just like letting him be. And then, of course, we had a lot going on because my daughter arrived with my mom, and it was like the first time she met him. So we had a lot of focus on her, and like, just making sure that she was feeling seen and heard, loved, and like sure of her position in the family and so on. And he was just like tagging along. And then my mom started noticing, like, he's very tired, like he doesn't react much to when, like, because my daughter, she's 3 years old, so she was just like hugging him very hard, and like and he wasn't like reacting much. And my mom was like, has he fed? And I was like, no. So I tried to make him breastfeed, but he wouldn't like latch. So then I gave him about 5 milliliters of my colostrum that I had expressed from the fridge. And it was really difficult to feed him with it because he was just like very sleepy. He was barely opening his mouth and so on. And I also noticed that he was shivering. And I thought, because I have been on antidepressants like since 2017, and I thought, oh, it's because of that he's shivering a little bit. But yeah, we went to the hospital because it was his 12-hour checkup with a doctor, and the doctor also noticed that he was shivering and shaking a little bit on his extremity. Oh, we went to the 12-hour checkup with the doctor at the hospital, and she noticed also that he was shaking. So she decided to take a blood sugar test, and he had 2.5, which is like right at the edge, or it's like it's a low sugar, but it's like barely. But yes, but she saw that he had a low blood sugar, and I got like really sad because I was just expecting that everything would be fine and we would go home and continue with our day together with my daughter. But then she told us, like, you need to stay until his blood sugar levels are up. And then she was like, in a very like casual manner, like, yeah, let's bring in the formula and give him some glucose. And I was just like, wait, what formula? And she was like, yeah, we need to get his blood sugar up. And I was like, but I have colostrum, hand expressed colostrum from my pregnancy. And she asked me, do you have it with you? And I was like, no, but we live 7 minutes from the hospital. So my husband, he can just go and get it. And I don't know why it was such a hurry for her. And also, like, I had my breasts with me, so I could express like real time. I could express more, but she was like so reluctant to that. And I started crying because I was just so afraid of ruining my new chance of having a breastfeeding journey. And she was like, I was fed on formula in the 90s. It went well, like as a way to
the worst
comfort.
thing you can say.
Yes. It didn't help.
No.
But of course, she was like, okay, he can have one meal formula, and then you can give the colostrum for the next meal. And I just had to accept that, even though I really didn't want to. So we got a room, and the first thing I did was to text my birth team. And I'm so glad that Nandi was like immediately, I'm coming over. And she was like so quick. She came in, I think 30 minutes she arrived. I was waiting for her. And my husband, he went to grab some stuff and to arrange for our daughter to have somebody to look after her. And the doctor came back in, and she was like, I've been to the neonatal ward, and I have some donor's breast milk for you that you can give, because it seems to be so important for you, this breastfeeding thing.
Oh my God. Wow.
And I was like, thank you.
Do they not know the studies? How can they not be encouraging it in Sweden? You know what I mean? It makes no sense what the problem was.
I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but so he got a little bit of donor's milk, which was better than formula, of course. And Nandi arrived, and she was like, but Matilde, you have your breasts with you. Just start expressing. And I was like, how did I not think of that? So I started to hand express. And since I had been expressing since week 36, it was quite easy. So I just I think I got 10 milliliters really quick. So he got that. And then David arrived. And they took the blood sugar, and it was really high again, like normal high, of course. It was good. And I was like, perfect, let's go home. And they were like, no, the doctor wants another one in 12 hours. You have to stay for the night. Yeah. And so we had to stay. And it was, since I work there, I knew all the people working there. And that felt quite strange, because I had to be like really social with everyone. But at the same time, I got like taken care of really good. I'm really happy of all the people that showed up and asked me how I was doing. I wanted to meet my little boy and so on. So I'm happy like with the people I met there, and that they kind of just trusted me to do my own thing. I think they were like, yeah, we trust you. You do your own thing. So I just got to feed him with my colostrum. I think we didn't feed him with the donor's milk anymore, or maybe once more. But then I just expressed and fed him during the night. And then his blood sugar level was fine. And we got to go home.
Oh, finally. Oh, wow. Yeah. Such a journey. And again, like, things can go to plan, but usually they don't go to plan with birth and postpartum. So I'm just so grateful for you sharing all of this, the vulnerability of it, but also the empowerment that you felt. And yeah, just so grateful for your time and your beautiful little boy. I can't. I love that our boys are so close in age, and being able to lean on each other through this all this experience. But yeah, that's such an incredible story. So thank you, Matilde, for just telling it all as raw as it can be. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for listening and for following with me.
Of course. I know it's going to help so many others as well. There's so many stories out there that need to be told, and I'm just grateful to be a part of your life and being able to follow your journey and through the whole recovery process, and that he's doing so well now, and that you got over that one little hump. But yeah, he's so precious.
Yeah, he is.
Oh, well, again, thank you for your time and for being here. Is there any
Thank
last words,
you.
any advice, anything else you want to throw out there to the people out there listening?
Yeah, I think like the important thing is to be serious about preparing yourself for birth, and but also to just like combine that with being kind to yourself when things don't go as planned. You can't control everything. You can control your own mindset and how you look at things. But like giving birth is such an enormous thing. So like everything can happen as well, even though you are very, very prepared. So don't be too harsh on yourself on how it goes.
Love it. Oh, thank you so much. And you're incredible. And yeah, we will talk soon again.
Yes, we will.